Hey guys. So I am back. I had to reply back to someone, so I was like, oh, let me just end the stream. Okay, so I did a video yesterday and I want to show it to you. It was I'm getting older. What's wrong with that? It has Paulina Poroskova over here. She's 40. She's like 59 years old. Looks really great. Okay, no, 56 years old. My bad. Oh my goodness, so early. 56 years old. She looks really great in my opinion. And she did this ad talking about what's wrong with being older. What is wrong with being a mature woman. And I thought it was a really great ad because a lot of women, for whatever reason, when they start getting older, they start feeling insecure. I've seen it in a number of women, even women who I find to be very attractive. Once they hit around, let's say, 45 years old, they start feeling insecure about themselves. They start feeling like they got to compete with these 20-year-old women. Now, here's the thing. If you are 40 something years old, most likely you're not going to be able to compete with a 20 something year old because a 20 something year old looks significantly younger, right? Most 20 something year olds do look significantly younger than a 45-year-old. There's a reason why when you look at two people, you can kind of tell which one is the mom, which one is the child, right? It comes down to skincare. It also comes down to aging process. Bones change as you get older. Yes, your skull actually facially changes as you get older. So it's not just do you have wrinkles or not, it's also the way the bones are changing in the face. I think women's eyes, for instance, they look a little bit more hollower. That's why you can see signs of aging around the eye area. That's why eye cream is so important. Now, this ad I thought was a real wonderful message because instead of being worried about the aging process, I felt like the message on here was live your best life, just work on yourself, and don't focus so much on your age. Kind of look at your age and say like it's a testament that you've been alive for X amount of years, and the more that we're living on this earth, right, that's more opportunity that we can improve ourselves, take care of ourselves more, eat better, and all that kind of stuff. Weight loss, for instance, exercise does not happen in one day. It's a progressive thing. Same thing with, let's say, taking care of your skin. You don't see results in 24 hours, right? A lot of the times, if you want to maintain something, you got to have like a regimen or a routine down. So when I was looking at this, I thought it was really well done. Now I see this message over here. I thought, I did the stream thinking like, oh, I hope it helps women. I see this message over here that says, I am here to tell you that in fact 95 to 98% of women above 40 are widely considered unattractive by the male population. The model here is the exception. The focus on this was, in my opinion, it wasn't so much focusing on Paulina, but it was trying to send the message that, hey, you don't have to keep up with these like 20-year-olds. You don't, if you are a woman who's getting older, and I'm getting older, minute by minute, because I'm not getting any younger, right? Like, just focus on you. Like, don't get all insecure about this kind of stuff because you can hold your own as an older woman. And I have known several women where they're significantly older than me. Some of these women are old enough to be my grandma, but I find them to be so attractive because they take care of themselves. They know that there's going to be a woman who's more attractive than them, younger than them, but it's okay. They don't exert the mental energy fretting about this kind of stuff. Now, when I see this kind of comment, it truly makes me sad because I think to myself, look, where is this comment coming from? And I wonder, and this might seem a little too personal over here, but I'll say it anyway because I only have about 100 subscribers or 150 people watching this video. If you tell any person, I'm assuming Louise is straight. Let's say Louise is in a relationship. Let's say Louise is 25 years old. Do you know how much of an asshole you look like basically telling the person that you're with, hey honey, I know you're let's say 25 years old right now, but you know what? Unfortunately for you, you have a 95 to 98% chance that you're going to be unattractive to me by the time you hit 40. So enjoy it while it lasts, honey. You might, don't be surprised if the door hit your ass, on the way out, because once you hit 40, right, or once you go over 40, you're probably not going to be attractive to me anymore. And it's just a terrible thing to say. I shouldn't say this, but I'll say it anyway. I really hope that if you are in a relationship, I really hope that you haven't said this kind of stuff to any person because it is extremely hurtful. You know, as a person, when I was in my 20s, I heard stuff kind of similar to this and it really kind of messed me up for a while. And now, as you guys know, right, I took off the little earpiece in my ear and I chucked it away and I'm like, you know what? If I'm going to be closer to 40, I might as well work on myself and that's it. I don't go out in the world saying, hey, I wanted to let everybody know 95 to 98% of women are going to be unattractive by the time they reach 40. It just makes, and I don't think people here in my YouTube videos, I don't think they want to have Louise as the representative of the male population because it just makes all guys look bad. It looks so, how would I say it? So hurtful, so damaging. And then if you say a comment like that, it also implies that you think you're better than 95 to 98% of women. So I would say this there's either two things that's going on here. Either Louise is significantly younger than 40, maybe 25, 30 years old, or older and possibly jaded, because that's usually what happens. I've never come across any guy who is, how would I say this? I've never come across any guy who I feel like would spew this stuff out unless there's like insecurity issues going in there, deep, somewhere in there. Like I've known people where they're rich and they're not rich and they're with women who are over 40. I've seen these women because, as you guys know, right, most people who end up in relationships as they get older, they don't look like supermodels. They're not everybody is loaded, but they seem to be happy with each other because there's more to a person than just their looks. If someone gets older, someone gets a wrinkle, that's no reason to just kind of throw them away like, oh, you're unattractive to me because you have a wrinkle now. And it's not healthy for any person, man or women, to live their life fearing about these wrinkles, fearing that they might be possibly discarded because signs of aging is coming in around 40 years old. Skin elasticity, I heard it goes down around, let's say, 35, 37. Some women, they take care of themselves, they stay out of the sun, and they're able to hold on to their youthful skin longer, but other people, they do go to the beach, they don't wear sunscreen, and they just like overtly have a lot of sun damage, and you can see it manifest in the health of the skin. And that's what I'm trying to get at. So saying this kind of stuff, although it might be meant to be as a power statement to say, oh, 95 to 98% of women aren't attractive to me, right? Because that's what's implied, right? If you're going to say widely considered unattractive to the male population, again, it seems like Louise wants to be the representative of the male population. This is some sort of projection here. I just don't find that to be the case. I don't think so. And I think that if you go out publicly and say this kind of stuff and people know who you are, you're offending 95 to 98% of women, which probably isn't the smartest thing to do. I've known people where they say these kind of stupid comments. Typically it's from a person who in their 20s, and then they wonder, oh, well, why don't people pay attention to them? Why don't people want to hang out with them? It's because of saying this kind of stuff. It's not saying, hey, if a person works on themselves, right, as long as they maintain, like, they're going to be able to starve off the aging process. It's specifically saying 95 to 98% of women above 40 are widely considered to be unattractive without any possible, like, solution over there. It's just like once you hit over 40, prepare to be deemed unattractive. And to me, that's so ugly. That's so, like, divisive. And yeah, it's just like that kind of stuff. So if you're a woman and you're hearing this kind of stuff, I hope you really don't take these comments to heart. There's a reason why I just kind of said, I'm going to do away with that video because I don't want people kind of getting into this whole thing. But I wanted to address it head on because I feel that as women get older, you're going to hear comments like this come from people. You're going to pick it up from the media, social media. You're going to see all these like bombardments of like 20-something-year-olds in booty shorts, and maybe that's not your thing. Maybe you don't want to walk around in a crop top all day kind of thing. But That's not to say if you don't fit a certain aesthetic, then you're unattractive, right? Beauty, in my opinion, comes from within. It's not just simply how good your hair looks. It's not simply like, oh, does your teeth look perfect? It's like a whole package. And the most beautiful thing about a person, in my opinion, is how they treat other people. And the way that I see this comment, it just looks very ignorant and it looks just so unattractive to me. And I don't hesitate talking about this kind of stuff because at the end of the day, when I talk about these kind of videos, what am I doing? I'm losing what, seven possible what, like not too much monetization. I get about like 30 cents a video, so I'm not worried about losing sponsors or anything like that. I think that saying this kind of thing is so much more important than just kind of um, muting myself and saying, oh, yeah, let me not talk about it because I don't want to piss off my audience or I don't want to offend someone kind of thing. It's very important to talk about this stuff. So let's look at this stuff, right? So, yeah. So there, yeah, all these people, right? If you are close to 40 or if you are over 40 and if you are, let's say, in a wonderful relationship or in a wonderful marriage, please, like, I know if you're already in a great relationship, you're not going to say this kind of dumb stuff, right? If you feel like, hey, you're worried about letting yourself go, your partner letting themselves go, then encourage them. Hey, take care of yourself more. Hey, brush your teeth, that kind of stuff. Eat better. And if you work as a team on certain things, working both on yourself mentally as well as aesthetically, you'll find that you'll have a much happier relationship than uh, you being that one person who's like, oh, you, woman in my life, you're 40 years old, you're entering 40. I just want to let you know you're not going to be attractive most likely in a couple years because 95 to 98% of males find women over 40 to be widely considered unattractive. See? Yep. So Michael brings up a good point, right? It's possible to keep your looks up to 40 and beyond if you aren't able to. You can still keep up your happiness, which is even more attractive to many people than mere looks. Yeah, I've known people, I've known women and men where it's really about their aura. I know this one guy, for instance, and I've shared with you guys before, right? He is shorter than me. He's with a woman who looks like a bombshell. She's so gorgeous, you guys. She is beautiful. She's absolutely gorgeous. And he's not rich. But the way he got this woman is because he just the way he is, the character he is, it's just amazing. He's so supportive. He's so kind. Um, he has a great outlook on life. So a woman like that, although I would consider her to be a 9 out of 10 flat out. Even though she's so good looking, she's not into this guy just because of money bags. Like he was like broke. He was unemployed, and then when they got married, and he quit a really good job, so he was in debt for the longest time, and now he's getting back on his feet, kind of thing. I'm really happy for him. He's very successful, and he has a great woman by his side, and she's gonna turn. She's gonna get older. I think she might be close to 40 around now, and she still looks really good. And he's still missing hair and he's still shorter than her, but when you look at him and when you see them interact, it's almost like you don't like pay attention to this. Like you don't look at a person's flaws when you see a person, right? You want to focus like when I see a person, the first thing I will think is like, how do they treat other people, how do they come off to others, and then what kind of aura do I pick up from them. It's not, oh, okay, this person is balding and like end the story. You don't want to be like that, right? You don't want to be that person who's like, oh, okay, yeah, yeah, let me see your age. Ooh, 42. Ooh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's too old to be attractive because everybody gets older, and if you are a person where you anticipate being over 40 years old and you want to be in a relationship or you want to settle down, then you gotta accept that your partner's gonna hit 40 eventually, unless you think you're like a Hugh Hefner, and I highly doubt Louise is a Hugh Hefner. I highly doubt uh, this person is a multi-millionaire and they have a harem of, busty, young, attractive, high value women prancing around them, and they can rotate these women. So gosh, once they hit 25, they can kick it to them to the curb. And most guys out there do not live the Leonardo DiCaprio life, because at the end of the day, right, you can be, let's say, 50 years old and being around a bunch of attractive women, but you got to ask yourself, do you feel like the women will really be there when you turn 50, 60, 70 years old? Chances are no. There's a reason why when people look at, let's say, Anna Nicole Smith and her ex-husband, I think it was J. Howard Marshall, right? He was like 83 when they met, I think. People kind of question, does she really like him for him, or does she like him because he was an oil billionaire? Yeah, so Dirty Dan has it right. As long as it's one woman I love, I always find her attractive. There is more to a person than just their physical looks. Again, you got to look at the whole package. You cannot do this whole ageism thing, because it just makes you look like a complete asshole. So Larry says you are contradictory. Work on your vocabulary. You're right. These things are important. Like, okay, what? How am I contradictory? Am I contradictory because I say when you look at a woman, you shouldn't be all like, oh yeah, 95. You shouldn't group them all as being unattractive just because they hit a certain age. Like, no, you should look at a person and then say, hold on. You should look at a person and say, okay, this person is unattractive because this and this and this. Highlight their age, kind of thing. Okay, seems like Larry can't say anything. Larry, you tell me to work on my vocabulary. I'm saying please form a sentence. I'm asking you a question, but who knows? Yeah. I think women should not feel. You shouldn't be rattled by a woman who's like 20 something years old. I've come across women who are significantly younger than me. They're beautiful. Recently, I was talking to a woman. I think she's about 24 years old. 24, 23 years old, something like that. And I remember looking at her and I was like, man, she's so bubbly, she's so cute. I hope she does well in life. I don't look at an attractive woman and say, I'm, just she's my competition. I wish for her demise, kind of thing. It's like, no, you don't get anything out of wishing people bad, kind of thing, or just feeling threatened by a younger woman, because it's like looks aren't everything, kind of thing. Sometimes women go out there, right? And what I mean by that is like they size up other women. They'll see an attractive woman and they'll be like, oh, I feel so bad about myself. She looks so pretty. Oh man, I don't wish her well because she's so pretty. I hate pretty women. And it's just like reeks of insecurity. I think every woman, they should go for whatever aesthetic idea that they find attractive and follow it. It's not everybody is going to be like Instagram model kind of thing. Some people, they like wearing, let's say, cutesy dresses. Some people like Lolita fashion, and that's totally fine. If a woman feels comfortable wearing Lolita fashion, then go for it. But I wouldn't tell a woman who feels comfortable in Lolita fashion to say, okay, you need to conform to whatever society says looks aesthetic for your age group, kind of thing. That's why I say, I talk about what I perceive to be a pretty good thing to go for a lot of women, and that would be like an elegant look. So this woman over here, she's 49 years old. She looks amazing, right? And I really believe that if women want to take care of themselves, they want to look better, they can get similar aesthetics, but all they have to do is just work on themselves. Have a diet plan, have a exercise routine, do their hair, do their makeup, style themselves, get accessories, get flattering clothes. It's not rocket science, but it takes effort. And I think that a lot of this like aesthetic things, it's all about effort. It's all about making sure that you're consistent and you just work to improve yourself. I think women are more worried about how much men care about their looks than they really do. I think that it's comments like this that make women insecure, right? And then I imagine a woman could read this kind of stuff and she'd be like, oh, I read this comment online, and well, by the time I hit 40 or 41, I'm going to be unattractive. And it doesn't matter what I do, I'm going to be unattractive because I'm old. I'm old. I'm not 20 something years old. So, yeah, just this is absolute hogwash, okay? Just make sure regardless if you're a man or a woman, just take care of yourself, okay? Like, don't do this whole finite date kind of thing, because if you have been following my channel, there's this one woman. Her name is Wendy Ito. She's like 69 years old. Let me see. This woman is like 69 years old. She looks absolutely amazing. See this woman? 69-year-old woman, okay? See this? 68 years old. This woman looks beautiful. And I think she's such an amazing inspiration to younger women, because you realize, like, you don't have to just like feel like you gotta let yourself go just because of a number, right? You don't have to feel like, oh, just because I'm 40 years old or 45 years old, like it's just like not worth it to try. She started her weight loss journey when she was 43, if I remember correctly. She was overweight. She was in a relationship where they had domestic abuse, and she just like turned her life around. And whenever I look at her and I see her videos, I'm like, man, there needs to be more women out there like her. You know, she just has so much energy, so much joy, and she just looks incredible. You know, just like her personality kind of thing. No, why would they make them feel insecure in terms of what? Younger women? Sometimes, like, women, they might see younger women out there and then they might feel jealous because they'll say, oh, that woman looks so good. I wish I was younger. I wish I had the skin of a 25-year-old kind of thing. Or, right, if a 25-year-old is fitter than them, they might feel very insecure about that too. Sometimes I think society kind of conditions us to think that certain age groups are more attractive, and then once you hit a certain age, it's like you don't really see those kind of women anymore. So, for instance, right, when you see people modeling, talking about clothes, right, a lot of the times the women are in their 20s, right? You'll have a woman who maybe she's a model for a clothing company. You'll see her videos all over TV or in the magazines, and you look at her age, she looks pretty youthful. You don't really see too much women in print ads, in my opinion, who are, let's say, clearly 45 or 50 years old and they look like the part. I think that for whatever reason, it's just shunned, you know, to have an older woman on a magazine. And I think that's flawed, because older women tend to be, in my opinion, more financially stable than a younger woman, right? Who has more spending money? The woman who is 50 years old or the woman who is 20 years old? I'd say the 50-year-old. So all that kind of stuff. I really hope there's a change in terms of marketing and aesthetics and models. I like to see women of all age groups show up in ads. I like to see women of different sizes as well. I'm not saying that um, I think that people should be applauding, let's say, certain body types and shunning other body types. But what I'm saying is that I want there to be more diversity out there. I want it to be sending a message that, hey, you know what? You don't have to be a beautiful white female to end up on this ad. You can be a different ethnicity. You know, you can be Cambodian and show up on an ad. You can be a Cambodian woman who is like 45 years old and, you know, show up in a jewelry ad. I would love to see more mixtures. You know, I would love to see more diversity in these ads, different ages, different races. But for whatever reason, sometimes when I look at ads, it's just kind of cookie cutterish. So I will talk to you guys later. And if you guys, I would really recommend you guys check out Wendy Ida. She is absolutely incredible. I hope I look that good when I'm 69 or so. She has so much energy. Her teeth look amazing. She just takes care of herself, and you can really tell. Okay, you guys. I'll see ya. Bye bye.